I'll just show you all the Trello board we use. Okay, so it's got these little, you can make big cards and little sub cards, and this is the Trello board for last semester. So we had 11 projects, and so these are all the students' names. And since it's an interdisciplinary course, I guess I should explain the color coding. So if it's a blue color, that means they're a CS student, and if it's a green color, that means they're not a CS student. And we there were approximately 30 CS students and 20 non-CS students. So we tried to go 3 CS students and 2 non-CS students per group. And it was approximate. So like this group had all CS students in it, just because there were more. And then if there was a red color, that meant that this group was expressing a time zone preference. And this was the Chinese students group, and they were all in China. And then if there's yellow, that means that these people had expressed a preference for who they wanted to work with. And I've forgotten what yellow is. I could look. Or orange. Orange means, let's see. Oh, yellow meant that they expressed a time when they wanted to meet, sorry. And orange meant that they expressed who they wanted to work with. So like these people would said, oh, I prefer to meet in the morning. And, as opposed to like when we wanted to meet. So I guess I forgot to say that we asked them like, when do you want to meet outside of class for their groups? And so what this allowed us to do is we could then start grouping people. The top person is the person who came up with the project. Their project was selected, and then we could just like move these cards and say, oh, this person goes there. And then at the end, we would be able to do that. So this was a great tool for that. The other tools that I used were, we use Slack extensively. Slack is a big tool, and I'm happy to talk about that if anybody doesn't know what Slack is. And of course, we used GitHub as a repository for the software projects. And in particular, GitHub has a board-based tool in it. We've used Trello previously, but Trello has gone to a pricing model, which makes it not so good for classroom use. So GitHub has a tool very like what I just showed you with Trello as part of its software repository thing. And so that part was all done inside GitHub. It's called GitHub Projects. And so we were all based in GitHub this last semester. And so those are the main tools that we used, Slack and GitHub, last semester.
Basically, I just utilize the Brightspace groups, and the reason is that I felt like I could create a space where each member of the groups could share like their group promises and any other sort of group related documents. But the bigger thing, and I talked about this with Corbette, because I know Corbette just uses the Google Drive. One of the elements in my class is they are gathering data, which will be requiring them to record videos like of their interactions to use as data. And that's in particular important because there's an evaluating group that will watch that. So they could be like 30-minute long recordings of the entire interaction. And so I don't want to take up their space. So being able to record in Zoom and then upload the link or use some combination of Kaltura or something, so that the large files just live on Brightspace. I think that ends up being a really useful tool. I've also used the group function to, in a different class, have students get into random groups each week for weekly discussions. And the reason why I like that is it takes the pressure off of students having to make a unique contribution out of a class of 20. If they're in a group of just 4 people, their contributions feel a bit more unique, fresh, for at least these online asynchronous conversations.